Hey guys, this is Ryan from El Topo Loco, giving you guys another deck profile. So the ban list has been in effect for a few weeks now. A lot of the major meta decks like Mecha Frieza, Dark Broly, um, King Piccolo, they were hit by the ban list, and they really haven't seen too much. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Like too much damage to the decks. Mecha still does Mecha things. It's probably not as efficient without the Bergamo plays and also the extra card that drew him a lot of cards. I forget what it was called. I think Universe Two. Um, and then Dark Broly has been nerfed, but it's still a pretty decent deck. But I think King Piccolo actually got hit the hardest by Drum being limited to one, because Drum was probably like the best card in the deck. So I know some people have been toying around with red green version, and it can be decent. Splash some Bell mods in there, maybe the Sacrifice Negate, and then you could also play the 2-drop Piccolo Junior that burns damage and has Alliance. And my teammate Brandon has been trying it out, and it does decently. But then you have those awkward charges, like you should try to charge a green on turn 3 or 4, and it just, I don't know, it's not as consistent, or it's not as good as you want it to be, especially being mono red as it originally was. And now that set 14 has dropped, I've been testing out some new red cards in the deck, and it actually is performing a lot better than I expected to. And I really like this build right now. But before I get started, I do want to shout out Ben Kidd. He has messaged me since the very beginning, since I talked about King Piccolo all the way back in December, before everybody even knew he was meta. Um, Me and him have always talked about King Piccolo, how to improve it, things to change. So I'd want to give him a shout out. And he also has a Facebook group called Straight Out Dynamic. So if you're a King Piccolo player and you really like the deck, definitely join that on Facebook. Give him a shout out that we sent him. But let's get into the deck profile. The beginning of the deck profile is going to be very standard. So um, here we have the leader. Most of you know what he does, so I'm just going to quickly go into it. He starts at 6 life. Seems like it's going to be a bad thing, but you really actually, some games you could close out with 6 or 7 life in the very end, or a lot of times you're closing it out with 4, but it's not that bad of a start as long as you don't go against a very heavy aggro quick deck. Then it could be a problem. But every turn you attack, you put a Namekian in life, and when you have 2 or less life, or 2 face-up Namekian or Demon Clan cards, you can awaken, draw 3, and then you're actually going to put one more life into your or one more card into your life from your deck face down. So you kind of have 7 life to play around with. And then on his awakened side, when he attacks, you get to put up to 3 cards that are Demon Clan or Namekian from your hand into your life face up, and you can use those in combo because his activate battle once per turn on both turns. He can basically combo with one Namekian or Demon Clan from your life. And then you also, actually, before you even do that, you flip the top card of your deck to your life. So sometimes you could actually use the card you just flipped over as the combo piece. But let's get into the actual deck profile. So most of this is going to be very, very similar. And we don't really want to change a lot of it because the deck was good enough. Why fix what wasn't broken? The problem right now with Drum being at 1, this was a good defensive piece, and it also had that minus 10k power. So sometimes this would stop 2 attacks because you weaken one of their guys, and you have a barrier blocker, which is hard to deal with at times. So this deck got hit with the consistency issue. I mean, it sucks when you don't see your Drum in some games, but King Piccolo has always been like a mid-rangey kind of deck that really outgrinds because it usually has a pretty decent hand size, and it's also playing guys with very little to no energy, and because you're able to keep your hand size up and continue to add pressure, you're just dwindling your opponent's resources until you could win the game. So we got 1 and 4, nothing too shocking over here, and then we're going to play 4 and 3. Tambourine, if you want to bump it to 4, you can, just so you have more targets to play off of. Now, since now we have less targets with Drum being hit, and no new cards have been printed for King Piccolo that play from the life, this is what we have to deal with for now. We just keep Tambourine at 3 because it does have the unique tag, but if you want to have more things to play off of the life, you can bump it up to 4 if you like. Here's our Unison package, pretty standard. For Piccolo, you want to play him on turn 2 most matches. We got three of our negates to keep our unison alive on those early turns. Once he's established, you're just drawing a lot, and also his auto for the unison is just popping so much stuff, especially if they have counterplay cards or counter cards that play a battle card. A lot of times you could just destroy them right away. Or if you subtract some of their guys, like with Yamcha or other cards we'll see, you can make a stronger guy really weak and force them to negate, and then you pop their really strong guy. And then he also has Rejuvenate. Most of you guys know how to do that, and also the board clearing thing. And then we're running Yamchas just because it's really good in here. There's a lot of cards that are going to be played by effects nowadays, or free played by an effect. So Yamcha does hit a lot more stuff than it originally did when it first came out in set 10. Here's the rest of our Namekian package. New Ruler, great card. Um, King Piccolo, Dragon Ball Obsession. So this allows us to look at the top five, basically pick any Demon Clan or Namekian card, including our super combos, which is what we're going to pick most of the time, unless there's a specific target you see that you want to hit. And it also allows us to get our Unison just in case we need a turn one play and we don't have the Unison in hand. Um, so it helps us search for that. Most of the time, super combos. And then both of these targets are able to evolve into King Piccolo Time to Fight, which again allows us to search for a Namekian or Demon Clan. Most of the time, you're searching your super combos off of that. And then when he is played, and also when he attacks once per turn, um, you can make one of your Demon Clan guys have plus 20k. So you're making something that's, still putting a decent amount of pressure, most of the time 15Ks or 20Ks. You're adding 20K. And that also could be used with our Unison effect to help clear their board. Basically, if you're using on Tambourine and your Tambourine's already at 20K, you could clear your opponent's board, ignoring barrier. I'm sorry, you don't ignore barrier. I'm saying excluding barrier and maybe indestructible cards. You're basically going to clear their field. Here's just things that add pressure. We're going to run for the Piccolo super combo. You can run one Whis if you like, and if you like the Whis, you could also include the new Arrival beers that just came out as a one or two of. But I think 4 Piccolo is actually fine now. Whis was mostly for Black Mass Saiyan because that really cripples the deck and makes you have to play around it or just discard cards just to kill it with your drum. But now that drum's a lot is only at 1. We're not worried about it too much, and I don't think too many people are actually playing Black Mass Saiyan in the main or even in the side nowadays. So we just cut that Whis out and made it 4 Piccolo. Supreme Kai and also Frieza's Death Ball. These are really good for helping push for that finish. Death Ball can really, really hurt them if you're just going for that last life damage, or if you include it with the double strike, it just makes it impossible for them to combo over. Here are 2 negates. I'm not running Violent Rays. We also have the Piccolo negate that we saw with the Unison. But these are the 2 negates. We're not running Violent Rays because if Dark Broly is seen less often, but you could always side it, or if you think that there's going to be more 20Ks in the format that are going to be, pushing us to use Violent Rays, you could always switch out Topo for that. But Topo is also nice because it is a combo red card, and that's going to help us with our newer package and testing the opposition. Since we already start at 6 life, a lot of times this is going to be active almost immediately. Just gives us another negate and blocker. Maybe you could put a card in your hand that you really want to put in your hand late game. And then here's our 2 black cards. We're running Supreme Kai of Time because it's probably the best secret rare there is, especially for red right now, since this one is splashable. And then we're running our Bardock. Either one of these, you put Death Ball on them or double strike with your East Kai. It's really going to make it easy to push in for game. So far, nothing too crazy. Now we're going to see the new stuff that we're going to be adding to make this deck more viable nowadays in the set 14 meta. So we're actually going with the Universe 7 package. It's only going to be a little bit of a splash. Some people might want to include more of these cards if they really like them, but I really want to keep the consistency of having the Namekians and Demon Clans that we're playing because we want to get the most value off our energy. We could save our energy for those Topo negates or our Death Balls or our Double Strike. So a lot of the times we want to be free playing guys or cheaply playing guys. So with the Gohan, he has 2 effects. First effect is what's really good, and the second effect we will sometimes use as well, which will help our hand advantage. First effect, when you play him, you look at the top five. You get to pick one red Universe 7, and we're going to see the next few red Universe 7s. So you can pick one of those, a 4 or less, which is going to be all the Universe 7s we're playing. Or you can add one red Unison with a specified cost of 2 to your hand. So this is almost like that King Piccolo New Obsession, I think it was called, where it could search your Unison on turn 1 if you don't have it. So that helps with consistency on that for your turn 2 play. And then also he has a limit 1 if your leader is red. And when you use a mono red skillless battle card in combo, draw one card. It's limit 1. But we are only going to really have one of these guys out. And over here on the right, we have Piccolo, which is the vanilla. So he will proc off Gohan to draw a card. And he is also a Namekian card and a Universe 7. So he is easily able to be searched from a lot of your Namekian search cards, or from this Gohan, or from the next card we're going to see in the next slide. But it just might seem like, okay, why am I ever going to play this? Most of the time you won't. But you have another target in your hand to put in your life that you could combo off of. So on those turns that you get Koitsukai'd, this allows us to use a combo card without negging cards in your hand. And in fact, if you have Gohan out, you're actually going to be plussing a card. And if you also have a piano in play, not only can you combo your leader to 20k, which will probably get out at least one of the swings your opponent's hitting you for, you're drawing 2 off that one combo card, and you didn't even lose a card from your hand. So some people might not think it's the best, but I mean, think about Paragus, the yellow one from the yellow Broly deck from a year or two ago. He's kind of like that. Or even Chi Chi from the red green decks. You know, it's just to draw one if you had 2 multicolored red greens. This is essentially very similar, and you could just use it as a charge or as a thing to put in your life. And the worst part about King Piccolo, the worst feeling, this doesn't happen often, but on those games where early game, you don't have something to put from your hand to your life when your leader swings, just feels so bad because you're a turn behind, and it just feels super bad. So you always want to make sure you have enough Namekians or demon clans to put in your life on those early turns, and this is going to help since now we have 3 less drums. You could put in these 3 Piccolos, and they kind of take the place. Now, next few cards, this Gohan is almost like our drum itself. Our drum had barrier blocker. It doesn't have this, but this is a 20k piece. So if you're worried about Black Mass Saiyan, you can play this Gohan and hit that Black Mass Saiyan without negging any cards. So this is actually, in that sense, if Black Mass Saiyan does become more popular again, is better than drum on the play. Um, this works. It's an activate battle. If you have 2 or more mono red battle cards in your combo area, you're going to play this card from your hand and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 10k for the turn. Now, it doesn't say if you play this card, so if they happen to trunks this back to your hand, or if they counterplay this, it doesn't matter. They're still going to minus 10 to the battle card, so he doesn't actually have to get played, but then he's an aggression piece for 1 red energy. So yes, this is unlike the drum where you actually do have to pay some energy, but 1 red for a 20k is still kind of on par with the King Piccolo stuff. He's a little bit stronger than the 15ks, but he does cost a little bit of energy. And 2 mono red in the combo area is not bad because 1 is coming from your life, and then you could just combo 1 more. And if you're using piano or if you're using the Gohan, you might be drawing 1 or 2 off that anyway, so you might not even be losing cards from hand. You might be sustaining or plussing off of it, and this Gohan just will allow you to hit targets, and then also add that pressure, which King Piccolo wants to do while maintaining a hand size. The other one is this Son Goku Divine Presence. So he has a permanent. He can't be removed from your battle area during your turn. So they can't hit it with Frieza. They can't hit it with a Trunks counterplay because he has Deflect. They can't even take it with the Heroine's Lineage Secret Rare. Now, on their turn, he is susceptible from effects. But basically, he also has an Activate Battle just like Gohan. But he does cost 2 red. And you need to have 3 or more energy, and you need 2 or more red battle cards in your combo area, just like the Gohan. And you can activate battle, play him from your hands, and then choose one of your mono red cards. I think it's plus 5,000 for the turn. So you could use it on itself, make him 25k for the turn. you could actually do this defensively and use it on your leader to make him basically have a senzu bean effect on it, or you could add it on one of your battle cards that are red. But that's just the activate battle part of it. When you, he also has an auto. When he attacks, choose one red skillless battle card from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle your deck, and then this card gets 5k for the turn. So he's going to become a 25k or 30k if you plus him with his activate battle, and you get 2 swings because he has dual attack. And then you get to search that Piccolo that we saw on the previous slide if you have any left in deck, and if you have a Gohan out, and again you're going to be plussing cards, and you're just going to be beating away at them. That's basically what King Piccolo does. Keep that hand size up, which this still does, but still play these cheap battle cards. So this nice little U7 package that we're seeing right here does exactly what King Piccolo says without them actually being Namekian or Demon Clan cards. So definitely try this out. Adjust the ratios if you want. If you want to go more Gohans, more skillless cards, or if you want to adjust these guys, feel free to. But I found these ratios to be very satisfying. Test it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below, or if you have any suggestions about things to add or side deck, please let me know. Well, that's it for today, guys. Stay loco. Have a good one.